And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo Woo, and this is the monthly one-card divinations that I do for patrons, the good people over on Patreon, as a thank you for all the support during the month. There are many levels of Patreon that I do, and each of them get a different card reading, but for level 2 and above, they get one card, and that's what we're doing here today. So, let's get into it. So, Philip asks, regarding my current situation, which path is best for me? And it is the idea. So, the path would be doing something, I suppose, something fresh, something new, following a new lead, or following some creativity. So the idea is about something kind of that it's in its infancy or seed stage that needs to be kind of tended to or looked after. So regarding my current situation, which path is best for me? The thing that nourishes something new or nourishes a part of you that hasn't ever been tended to. Usually around creativity of some description, but that can come in many forms. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're just going to start painting. Creativity in business, in parenting, all of these kind of things, but something that needs to be nourished, something that needs to be tended to, something that needs to be watered in order for it to grow, that might be presenting now, or is something that hasn't ever been, given the time of day or given energy to. So whatever that is in your situation, that's the path you should go towards, whichever is the most thing that, rather than doing more of the same, rather than trying to fix something or something like that, rather than, it's like whatever good can come out of it, concentrate on that. Sarah, how can I be a better person this month? Okay, some cards flipping out. Two of them. We have the idea again and the dead. So the idea again is sort of tending to some part of you that needs to be expressed. That there's some new idea or new seedling or some new energy or something or that is available if you want. That if it's tended to in the right way, and if you order to look after it like a plant, all of these type of things, then it's like having that notion of having a great idea but not doing anything with it, and then 6 months down the line you see that someone else has used that idea because the idea has moved on to someone else. Are you the person, are you the gardener who can get this out? And if you go yes and you do it, then all great, but if not, they're going to move on. And so it's then what the dead being part of that it's that's something about the past, something about, not necessarily ancestors, although could be, something along your family line or something, but there's something that from your past or something in your family or something that never got a chance to bloom, and to look at that, that there's something trying to emerge from you, be that from your own self or from something that, is part of a family line or something from the past in some way, is trying to come out. Something that never had a chance. And maybe now's the time. In relation to being a better person, though, I suppose you'll be a better person when you're expressing yourself in the correct way, or a correct way, when you're expressing yourself in the widest possible way, or something along those lines. Grayson, what should I be aware of this month? The Saint. The need, I suppose, for an expert rather than trying to do everything yourself. That there's, this kind of notion of always trying to be the person who has to do everything. To be the person who, if the tap leaks, that you have to look after it, rather than getting a plumber, because that's, I can do this, myself. And sometimes you can, extend or expend way more energy than you need to, than just asking someone who knows how to fix the tap, to hire a plumber. But it's also in a kind of a wider thing of not trying to be the expert on everything, not trying to, and I don't mean that in the know-it-all way. I mean it more in the sense of not feeling you have to do all this stuff, not feeling you have to know all this stuff, that it's okay to kind of go, well, you know more about this, so you tell me about this, and that can come in form of people, I suppose it can come in form of books, but some sort of thing where it's just that idea of not having the burden of having to do all this myself or know all this myself or, do all the things, fix all the things. That's not necessarily your job or the best plan because other people would be better at it. And of course, with the saint, you have that thing of intercession as well, that, someone putting in a good word for you, but it's still that movement away from you having to do it yourself in a sense. But that doesn't mean like it's not. Well, I suppose in one sense, it doesn't mean that you get to sit in your couch and do nothing, but it's knowing your limitations in many ways and allowing then people, allowing help. Allow yourself to be helped. It's your exact question, Grayson. What should I be aware of this month? I suppose that you should allow yourself to be helped and that help is available to you if you choose it and not have to take on everything for yourself and try and fix everything by yourself. His Vincenus. Where should I focus my efforts regarding creative projects? Cards jumping. The Adventurer. So, something physical, something out there. No, so it's like getting out and doing something. I suppose like going to going set hunting, going costume hunting or something. It's like doing something physically out there rather than working on plots, working on, paperwork kind of thing, coming up with ideas or brainstorming or anything like that. It's not about ideas. It's not about information. It's not about, in the sense of sitting there thinking about it, but it's like getting out there, doing something, looking at places, talking to people, going somewhere. There's an element of like a travel or, out there, something out there, not sitting in the office, not sitting at home working it out, thinking up ideas. It's something about movement out there, which I focus my hard effort regard to create. Yes, move out. Like, so if you wanted to be a photographer, say, it's going to taking photos rather than sitting at home watching YouTube videos about how to be a better photographer. It's about taking actual photos, painting, possibly going and talking to other painters. If you want to create computer games, I don't have random examples. Go and talk to people about computer games. Go and talk to people who play computer games. Go talk to people, go into GameStop or Games World or whatever and see what the space is like. That kind of a thing. Some sort of physical out there. Max, do magic and I have a future together? The Depleters. No, Max. I mean, no. With the kind of thing that it's saying, the depleted, of course, is cyclical. So do you have a future together? Rather than no, strictly no. No, but just not now. But maybe it'll, that whatever energy or whatever thing has played its part, it's come out. It's now a different season. It's become, the energy's run out now. But with the thing of that, it may come back. It may not come back, but it may come back, being that it is a cyclical type thing. I think you knew that, Max, though, right? So you can't be shocked that card came out. Because it's where you've been heading, whatever. There is a thing that I'm going to take another card because rather than just go, no, it's not for you, or the thing shut down. Well, what is the future? What can we tell about Max's future and his direction? The Mother. So this would be self-care, looking after yourself, nourishing yourself, getting all of your earth-based stuff in line, your shelter, your health, finances, stability, love, appreciation, relationships, like really focus. So the magic, I suppose, would be the out there stuff, woo-woo, flighty kind of stuff, and it's been more grounded in reality, which again, I can't imagine you're shocked that is in any way what your answer is. That's good reading for you, Max, I would say. Winter. What should I consider about my new business plan? the messenger. To be aware of the communication, be aware of what's been said to you and accept it. I suppose often when we come up with new ideas and all that, we don't want to hear any bad news about it, or we don't want to hear where it might go potentially wrong, or where it might, there might be issues or whatever. And so it's just a call to go, right, while you may have a great business plan, just, listen to the advice around you, listen to what's been said, do your market research, do all of the things so that, you're aware of all of the different variables that's going on. And also I suppose if you say it to your friends or to your family, whatever, this is what I'm doing, and there is a kind of a lack of enthusiasm, or there's some sort of pushback or whatever, be okay with that. And but take on board whatever advice. It's not to say that you have to totally accept it and then not do it, but just to be aware that something about it that you need to be told about it that you mightn't be fully willing to want to hear because you're excited about it, or you think, oh, that'll sort itself out or whatever, and maybe it won't. Just be aware of the communication around it, or what it will say about you as a person, as a communication outwards. If you are just doing this type of business, what are you communicating to people around you? That kind of thing. But if that area would be more, I suppose, getting into the media. So yeah, just be aware of the communication around it. Dougie, what would help my current project? The opposer. I would say that what's been referred to here is that get it critiqued. Get someone who isn't just going to be, not a yes man or a yes woman or a yes person. That's not just going to go, oh, that's great, man. That's going to go, well, here's what's wrong with it. Here's the issues with it. And actually pull it apart and tell you what's really the issue with it. So a good critique. So if it was, if you're writing a book, get an editor who's ruthless. Who'll help you kill your babies. All of those things. Well, I'm not a full proponent of handing over, your creative stuff to other people to tell you what it is, because, it becomes sometimes a bit about them rather than what you wanted. It seems to be suggested in this thing that you could do with a good critique of whatever it is, or a good appraisal, or good feedback from someone who will tell you as it is, not what you want to hear, or not just the good news. Jane, I'm still feeling stuck. How can I shift this? The protester, speak up, speak your voice, say what has to be said, express yourself, go to war. The protester is Mars energy, Aries. Stand up for yourself. Join the picket line of your life or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of, if you're feeling stuck, there's kind of a notion, I suppose, in that you're being reactory to something, and that you're letting something happen to you. I'm stuck because I'm waiting for something to happen, or that when this situation changed, then I won't be stuck. And I suppose the protester saying, no, you're going to have to make the change. You're going to have to make yourself unstuck. The environment or what's going on around you is going to probably remain the way it is, and if you're just being reactory through it, or kind of acquiesce to what's going on around it, and I just feel stuck, I can't get out of this, then that's not going to change. It's saying, stand up, speak up. What do you want? What do you want to happen? Do it, and just go and do it. Because rather than stuck, it would imply that you're being stagnant, or that you're in a rut. And oftentimes, the only way to get out of a rut is to just get up and out of the rut and do something different. And that can be hard, of course, or else you wouldn't be in a rut. But if you're waiting around for circumstances to change or opportunities to arise that you can capitalize on, it would suggest that no, you're going to have to make the effort. Make the effort yourself, but make the move yourself. Indy, how can I approach connecting with the energy of rebirth and renewal this month? The levitator. So this would suggest try to look at it from a different angle, from an objective angle rather than a subjective, what you would in it. How can I approach connect with identity? What would be the best approach, the objectively best approach to do that, rather than trying to situate it in your own life? But also maybe try to see it from a different angle. Whatever way you're attacking it, rebirth and renewal, it's very precise. And maybe look at it instead of rebirth and renewal, look at it as from the point of view of death, from depletion, from the end of things, rather than, the stage comes after. What needs to end for rebirth and renewal to happen? That kind of, so looking at it from a slightly different angle, is what it's saying. There's a kind of there's an aloofness as well with the levitator that might be handy with. Is just, don't get bogged down in details. Just what is it? Have a bird's eye view of it, a bigger picture view of it. DT. I've heard that one of my major life lessons right now is to stop comparing myself to others so much. But this feels impossible given how behind I am in various major life milestones. Do the servants have any advice for me here? The monk. Declutter, simplify. It's a call to retreat in the sense of this line, but it feels impossible given how behind I am in various major life milestones. It's saying, pull out of that. That's not good. Then you need to simplify that, pull away, retreat from that idea, because the monk thing is retreating from a public life. It's retreating to like a monastic life, and to stop thinking in that way. Because there's always going to be many more people who've achieved more than you, always, and there's always going to be people below you and all stuff. But we've less kind of interest in that because it doesn't reward us in the same way as beating someone else or achieving something over someone else. But in this case, it's saying that's the thing. You say, I'm finding it hard to. How can I stop comparing myself when I'm always comparing myself? That you've got yourself in a catch-22. That you're saying, so the question is like, my major life right now is to stop comparing myself to other people. But that feels impossible because what I want to do is compare myself to other people. And in order to stop that whole thing of comparing yourself to other people, you have to stop comparing yourself to other people. So you have to retreat from that, simplify, become singular rather than, this kind of looking all around you. Retreat into yourself, retreat into you, and consider you only, not considering the bigger picture, the public picture, whatever I'm doing. And yeah, like I understand what you're saying. Like I'm not saying that it doesn't make some sort of sense. Going like, well, my problem is this, and this is why it's problem. Like I do get it, but it is the reason that you think you can't do it is the problem. That's where it's catching you, is that the actual thing that you're trying to achieve is not comparing yourself to other people. It's been held on to because you're still trying to beat comparing yourself to other people, and you have to drop the whole thing. Good luck at that. That's tough. Chris, how do I find the courage to face my fears this month? Good man, Chris. The fortunate. Now, there's a thing in this that you could say, to be grateful for what you have, because, to face fears rather than trying to see where everything is falling apart, that you instead look to where everything is, great and everything is good. And I mean, that's getting harder and harder for people to do because the world is on fire. But there's a thing I came across recently, and I was going, I wonder why I've made such a note of this. And I think it's because it's the answer in some way to this question. I find that when things are going shit, to be impossible, to be grateful, because I know, I'm not grateful for this. I am not. And I can understand, kind of go, well, at least it's not worse. But I don't find that helpful because, you could literally say that to anyone. The worst case scenario you can tell, someone's story someone could tell you, you could still +1 that and go, well, at least, there are people out there who have, whatever, something worse. So it doesn't help in any way. And anyway, what I was watching or reading was saying that rather than to have a gratefulness or to have an appreciation. So, and I go, oh, that's doable. So it's not like, right, everything's falling apart, but I can appreciate that at least my car is working. It's not that I'm grateful for my life falling apart, but I can appreciate that it could be a lot worse. You know, that there is, I can appreciate stuff within it. And it's kind of reflective of reality transurfing, where they talk about what's the advantage. So even in the worst case thing, what's the advantage? And it's like, you know, something a bit about a lot of the wording of reality transurfing that I don't like, because it seems to be pointing at something else. So it's not saying within the badness, what can I get out of it? What's my advantage? It's going, well, what's the thing I can appreciate within this thing? And so coming back to your actual question, how do I find the courage to face my fears? It's in appreciating the places where you have already done that appreciation. So it's a move towards gratitude, but without kind of being thankful for the things you're scared of, or the things that are falling apart, or whatever it is that you're fear of. I'm assuming fear mostly is things going away, or things happening. But you'd have to be more specific, but that's kind of the approach I've taken, of like, I'm afraid of the future, of bad things happening, of negative things happening. And the response to that is to appreciate, even if it's only in the moment, the things that aren't falling apart. But it's not that thing of being grateful for your life being shit. I don't appreciate. I know some people can get a lot out of it. I don't. But I can definitely look at things and I can appreciate, well, at least this. Well, at least that. What's the advantage in this situation? What's the appreciation? So that, I would suggest, is what the servants are saying is your approach to facing your fears. James, where should I look for inspiration for my wedding speeches? Not ChatGTP. Generic wedding speech. The monk. Oh, James. You must look within yourself. I mean, that's good advice though, isn't it? Right? Like, so it's like, without trying to look outside for inspiration. What have other people done? What would what would people find good? What would people find funny? What would be the best speech? Studying wedding speeches and, putting them into ChatGPT and you're finding the best, whatever. It's like, no, what do you want to say? What is it you want to say? What is it you want to tell the person that you're, that you're marrying? What do you want to tell them? What do you want to tell their family? What do you want to tell your family? What do you want to tell all your friends that are here? What is it that you want to say? Not what is expected to be said, not what other people have said, not what the history of all of these things are. Just what do you want to say? Go in on yourself. And also, keep it really simple. Don't try and be fancy. Don't clutter it all up. Simply, just be succinct. Tell it how you feel. Tell the people around you that you love them and that you're happy they're here and it's the best day of your life. All of those things, if that's reflective of how you actually feel. And don't try to make the world's greatest speech. Just be you, man. And being just Tommy rather than the 40 servants, but it's coming from being your history of like doing stand-up and performing and stuff like that. There will be an extra kind of thing on you, a pressure on you to be funny and to be brilliant and to, be the best. And don't do that. Don't try to do that. You'll naturally be that anyway, but don't put that pressure on yourself for doing that. Just be honest about what you want to say. Red Egg. What can I do to stay motivated and moving towards my goals when my energy is low? The Planet. What are you surrounding yourself with? What is in your aura? What is dragging you down? So rather than to kind of add anything more, rather than trying to, get the ginseng in, get whatever it is, the B vitamins, look at the things that are around you that are draining your energy and start getting rid of them. Often starts with cleaning your room and all of that kind of stuff, but cleaning your friend list, cleaning your social media intake, cleaning, filtering out Reddit if you use Reddit to get rid of, all oh man, I've so much of Reddit filtered because it's just, it's, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm already seeing, I know, a cat run over or something. Just what are you surrounding yourself with? What are you eating? What are you drinking? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But what satellites have you gone on? What debris, what old crud have you just hanging on in your gravity field, and start trying to clean that out rather than adding more stuff to it, like affirmation, self-help things, or as I say, energy drinks or anything like that. Get rid of stuff, clear out rather than adding. Excuse me. Sharon, what do I need to know about what it would be like to work for the person offering me this one day a week job? Edit. I decided not to work for this person, but I still want to ask this question. Okay, so what would it have been like for you to work for this person? The dancer. So it would have been an awful lot of putting up with stuff. Having to go with the flow, biting your lip, having a deaf ear, blind eye, turning, all that kind of stuff. Just not, in order to do it, you would have to put up with an awful lot of, not speaking your truth, not standing up, not good. But the implication, you probably could have done it, but it would have been rewarding in any way, or it would have been satisfying. And eventually, I would suggest that having that kind of situation would have been very draining, even one day a week where it's just like, oh man, it's just constant kind of, right, okay, yeah, okay. That, who wants that? Well, no one wants that, but oftentimes, you have to do stuff you don't want to do too, but you've decided not to do it. So, good choice. Peter, should I continue my current magical path? Yes or no? The thinker. Have a good think about it. Be rational about it. Write it down on paper. Pluses, the negatives. Really map it out. Have no kind of inner sense about it at all. Don't try and rely on gut feeling or hopes, aspirations, or promises from anyone out there. Write it down. What would it look like on paper? If you were explaining it to a complete and utter skeptic, what would it sound like? Your current path? If you're going, well, I'm thinking of pursuing this. This is what I've been doing. Does it stack up? Is it logical? Is it helpful? That kind of thing. To really see it from, I suppose, in many ways, a non-magical point of view, from a kind of very rational. Pretend you're Richard Dawkins and interrogate yourself, and then have a shower and try to feel better about yourself for having done a Richard Dawkins impression. But yeah, something like, approach it that way. Be rational about it. So, good people of the internet, that's it for another month. I will be doing the next levels readings over, maybe this evening and definitely tomorrow, but I'll post them to the person separately and privately, so I'm able to have a bit more in depth with them and stuff like that, rather than airing any kind of dirty laundry or personal information on the internet. The one-card readings I think are fine. People are fairly good with the keeping it for not anything too personal, whatever. But if you want in on this, you should join the Patreon, and for level 2 and above, we do the readings at the post go up the first of every month. But there's loads of other stuff happening in the Patreon, loads of other things that you can get involved in. But the main reason for doing the Patreon is to support what I do, rather than feeling you are joining some sort of premium membership or a member club or something like that. If you like what I do, all the various different things, the writing, the art, the comics, the music, then please support me, as it really does help, and it allows me to continue doing these things, while you do get the bonuses and the stuff, that shouldn't be the reason why you join it. So links are in the description. I'm sorry my energy levels are a bit low today, and that my voice is a bit squeaky or teenagery. I'm just recovering from having COVID for what seems like forever, and I have to have a really long cough after talking for so long, but I'll not do that on screen. So, good people of the internet, may our best days be ahead, and be well.